Joe and Jenn Delle Fave on here. If you're experiencing a down market, they give you the step-by-step of what you can do in order to pivot. If you just have the wholesale or fix and flip or rentals, that those hammers in your tool belt, like this is where you're going to get a different tool and to be able to overcome a down market. If you're feeling that now in the real estate space where you are, you just might need to add this exit strategy or focus on it in case you don't already have this as something that you're doing. But they also just talk about their journey as real estate investors and how they've come to this place and how they are very focused on this exit strategy to be able to overcome any marketplace. So hope this provides a lot of value to you, and thanks for listening to the Profit First RIA podcast. Two of my favorite people are back, Joe and Jenn Delle Fave, which they've had me on their groups now multiple times. They've actually been, I think this is like the third or fourth time on this podcast. So recurring guests here, but honestly, these are two that are in the marketplace doing deals every day and like also teaching people and seeing marketplaces. And we had some conversations just before this. So I'm sure we're going to talk about the marketplace and the state of it today and also just all the things. So Joe, Jenn, thanks for coming back on.
Oh, always a pleasure, David.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us back.
Yeah, well, you've leaned into Profit First. You've leaned into what we teach. Like, I feel like you're, hey, can I say this? Like, responsible business owners. Like, because the people that actually care about the back end and the front end, it's not just all about making, like, we got to make all the dollars, but then you're just like, okay, like, I don't care about anything behind here. You guys actually care. And then you teach that to your people and, like, teach that into your groups and your community. So I really appreciate that about you both. Man, where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the market? Where would you like to take this? Because like I always lead the conversation. So what I'd like to ask you, what's burning? What are you passionate? Let's ask that. What are you passionate about right now?
I can feel it. He's chomping at the bit. He wants to talk about the market.
Well, I'm going to talk about the market, but I want to give Profit First a shout out first, because once again, like when we're new investors, like your headset's got to be right. Like your money's got to be right. And keeping track of your money was probably one of the most important things. So we really preach about mindset when you're first getting into this. And you have to have the right mindset for real estate or any business really. But then also too, is like, it's important to make money, but how to protect it and make sure that it's all being accounted for and the right way to do it. So if you're just starting out, like there's no better time than then to do Profit First. And that's why we recommend obviously your book to our community. And shout out because you came in and had a heck of a class with us last week, and everyone in our group loved you for it. So thank you once again for that.
Well, I just think you make it so simple. I say that a lot, but like it's an overwhelming concept that, at least for me, with all the bank accounts, and even if you've made mistakes or you've gotten into debt, like you're the hand that is just like reaching out and be like, hey, I got you. Like no matter where you're at, if you've got a bunch of money or you have made money, lost money, or you're in between, or like, I owe this money, right? Like you're the guy. And so I think you've got to give yourself kudos for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure. I try and make things simple. I'm a simple guy. Like if you get to know me personally, like I'm not very complicated. And that's where a lot of people, I feel like too, do you see this, Joe, Jenn, like out in the marketplace, it's very easy once you have done lots of deals and become the expert. Sometimes it's hard to put yourself back at square one where people are. And like, that's something I see as well too. Like, especially in the finance space, like these people talking at like these 9, 10, like they're up here and like a lot of people aren't there. And like, we got to get it to where it's just, here's the first thing you can do. And I feel like in your community, you do a good job of making it simple for people to start and where are they? I think you also approach it from a different aspect. Like a deal is a deal. Like, how can we make this a deal? Or like, if it doesn't fit the wholesale hammer or the fix and flip hammer, like what can we do with this? So I appreciate the shout out. Let's talk about like what you're doing and how you're in this marketplace. Cause right now when we're recording, what is this, May 2025? So we're definitely going through like the ups and downs of real estate where some, like we were just talking about, Rochester, New York right now is kind of going crazy bonkers with some of their stuff. But then like Florida is on a decline. So like you got to be able to really get to know your market and have options. So Joe, I teed that one up for you like as high as I could. So.
Well, I think it's really important to always remember, like stick to, doing what works. And so for us, we always find there's a ton of value in still scaling our real estate portfolio. That's what's made us in our position to be multimillionaires. Just by wholesaling is great. Fix and flipping is great. That brings in revenue that pays the bills and things like that. But where you build wealth is when you own rental properties and you have renters paying off your debt. Real estate's appreciating, especially some markets right now. It's slowing down a little bit. Some markets are red hot, which is wonderful. And Also, looking at some fix and flips opportunities or wholesaling. So just stick to the basic of what works. And for us, like things haven't changed. I'm still wanting to buy cash flowing assets that we're buying without banks and credit. Some of these we're buying with $100 down, but we're being picky about it. And you have to be really picky and be really just cherry pick the best deals. And so we talk a lot about lead flow and things like that. No lead left behind is the most important thing that we look at. So every lead that we get, we want to be able to make an offer on. Whether that is in Florida or New York, because we're seeing the tales of two different markets. And I see sometimes people, a lot of groups, a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of podcasts. You have some of the influencers saying the market is crashing, right? They do all the crazy faces. And then they look at the other side, like the market is still red hot, and both are true. And because we're in Florida, we live in Florida, we've been here for the last 3 years, and the market definitely is sinking here. It's going down. I think
literally teeter-tottered. When we moved in 2022, everything was over asking, couldn't find anything, no inventory. You're crazy if you think you're going to get it on the first round. And then now it's completely flopped.
Yeah, there's like 8,000 houses for sale in Tampa right now.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy.
There's a lot of inventory. And so when we look at places where we're originally from upstate New York in a city called Rochester, New York, Monroe County. And in that county, there's 500 houses for sale that have 750,000 people in the county. So what we realized, it's a lot of supply and demand, just like anything else. Yeah. And in some places like Florida, it's became really unaffordable, high prices. You've got rates that are up there right now, although not historically high. They've been higher than they've been priced at for the last few years, which got these prices to this level.
Which is crazy because one of our realtors up there that we work with, he's super investor friendly. He just posted yesterday that the median house price up in Monroe County, which is Rochester, New York, over the last 12 months is now $255,000. To me, that's wild because upstate used to be like way less than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So so again, right? Florida prices, New York, upstate New York prices. But to me, I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's also helpful because we have a lot of real estate up there.
Yeah.
So when you see things like that and everything's going up, we're like, high five. All of these rentals are really great. So, but that's the key to it too, right? Is finding where the market is going, and it's changing quickly. And this is why actively doing deals, if you're learning from anybody else, or you're doing the business yourself, is actively doing deals in the market, talking to the sellers. I mean, we talk to hundreds every single week, thousands we have in our CRM. So when we're talking to these people, we're seeing firsthand of these prices dropping, what somebody just bought a house for, if they have to sell it in 2 years of ownership, they're taking a loss right now. And we're seeing that more in Florida than I have seen in a long, long time.
Yeah. I am case in point where I just bought one. Literally this, like last week, I just moved in and it's in Florida and took $30K less than they're asking because the appraisal came back low. And so it wasn't them or it wasn't me being a great negotiator, being in the real estate world. It was literally the appraisal that forced it down, on the house. And I'm like, okay, they're almost going to, they walked away with almost nothing. And like you said, a lot of these other people are upside down. So yeah, I could definitely feel it in Florida. But then, like you said, it's the supply and demand. And you being on the ground floor, like knowing like the buyers and sellers, you can feel that shifting. I bet you a lot faster too. I guess for a newer investor, there's something that you said before. You were saying cherry pick deals. Do you feel like a new investor can cherry pick deals because, like they're a new investor? Don't they just want to take every deal that comes across their plate? Like, so tell me your mindset on that.
Well, you need coaching. You need a community. You need a group of people who are actively in the market or can at least help you look at your deals because, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like a new investor, they just want their first deal.
Yeah.
But we've been known to tell people like, no, that's not a deal. And I know you're excited, but like if it were me, I wouldn't do it. And this is why. And that's the part of the coaching. I think that we've always been, but we've had a coach to tell us that before, like this isn't a deal because X, Y, and Z. And to take the time to actually learn it and to break it down and know why, because a bad deal is definitely worse. Like I'd rather not do a deal than do a bad deal.
Exactly.
It's easy to say that.
No deal.
Yeah, if you've been in the game for a while, you totally understand that. But as a new person, you need people that are looking out for you.
Yeah.
Well, and to summarize the book Profit First for real estate investors, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. It's basically the whole book wrapped up in one sentence, right?
Yeah.
Because once again, it's not about doing a deal. And I got to tell you, we have a lot of folks that we worked with before that they're excited, right? And I am too.
Yeah.
I love doing deals. That's my favorite thing. I love to do it. My days off, I'm still on Zillow looking if there's a deal out there because I want to make one. I'm just like that. Uh, so it's exciting and I get it, but we really want to make sure we're focusing on creating a win for the seller, yes, but creating a win for the buyer, us,
Yeah.
our investors, to make sure it's going to work great for both sides. So the way you do that is by having selection, having a lot to choose from. So the first thing that we always dial into with us is how to get incoming organic leads for free. Where I'm not spending thousands on marketing because I've done that route. I've spent thousands on marketing to get 40 leads. Don't get me wrong, we made deals. That's great. But sometimes people don't have $5,000 to spend. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then when we kind of dialed in some cheat codes and how to get incoming leads and we don't spend money for it, whether you're a newbie or an experienced investor, this works for everybody. But focus on getting leads coming in abundance. And if you don't have to pay for it, high five. Because when you do have that happen, now I'm getting selection. Now I'm looking at multiple deals. If this one doesn't work out, fine. I've got 15 others that I'm considering anyways. And when you have that selection, you don't feel desperate, especially if we all have one deal that gets away. We all had it. I'm sure everyone listening, if you've been a real estate investor, you've had many deals get away. If that happens, it's not the worst case in the world because you've got 10, 15 others you're looking at. So you get over it quickly and keep moving on. So the focus thing is getting leads organically, being selective of the deals that you make. If they don't make dollars, they're not making sense, so you don't do it. Buy cash flowing assets, right, that are going to hopefully go up over time. People are paying off your debt and you get write-offs from the government for owning these properties. So it's like, there you go.
I also think what you both alluded to as well is if you have someone that's been there and walked that path before you got to look at that coaching as that investment, because if they just help you stay away from one bad deal, that's like $30,000 plus save. Usually, it's like wherever market you're in, it's from 10,000 to 100,000. Like it could be crazy different all over the place. So being able to look at, okay, if we've been down this road, we can help you. This is not a deal. This is going to be something where you're going to want to pull your hair out and run away from real estate investing. So it's where you have to have good people around you. And then I think exactly I love how you summed up the entire book. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. That's going to be my next book title here now. So I have to give Joe and Jenn credit here, but no, that's really good. I like what you said too about options and selections. Like you need to have enough coming in. Do you see, okay, you work with people and you see what their biggest hangups are. Do they get on the phone? Like, do they get on the phone and do they make offers? Are they making offers? Or is that one of the biggest hurdles you have to work with people is, I don't even know how to make an offer. I feel scared to make an offer. I don't know where to start. Because I know you've got that. I think you even shared this last time. You got like that. I don't know if you still have it, but that download for like how to make was it the blue post?
Mm-hmm.
Is how it's ha, I remember the blue post. So I'd love for you to give that away again too, because I remember that from last time. I remember even looking at that for the Simple CFO, and that got us into another group that we're now in there and like actively working with people. So I appreciate you guys. It's like having just simple ways to do that. I did want to come back to the original question of what do you think holds people back the most? They don't make offers. Is it that fear? What is it? Getting into it.
There's so many things. I think the first thing is they might be overwhelmed and confused. And that's where we've really just like you said, simplify it. So like, what is step one? Because, right, you're looking at like a whole deal. Like I've got some folks who come in and they're like, I'm really worried about the contract. And I'm like, I get it. Paperwork is super important.
Yeah.
But that is step 52, right? Like we got to worry about step one right now. And so our brains, they're just trying to protect us. And it's really a whole neuroscience thing. But if you just like solidify, like the fact is you need to have incoming leads. So let's get those blue ads, we call it. We could definitely share what that is. But you're posting in a Facebook groups. You're going to get sellers reaching out to you saying, I have a house. And that's what you need a lot of. Joe was saying, a lot of leads, a lot of sellers with houses. Well, the next step is you don't even have to pick up the phone yet. You just message them some questions. So you literally can, through your Facebook Messenger, literally message them. We've got 10 questions. We can give those away for you guys too. So you're just generating the leads in the Facebook groups. Now you're just messaging these questions back and forth. And then that third step, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Now I got to get on the phone. If they're saying yes, they say yes. Yes. They'll possibly like let me buy their house, especially with the way we do it with taking over their payments or seller finance. And so that's why we designed our program where we actually help with those phone calls.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They bring them to our live support call.
Well, and I think the key is too, is making sure that we're asking the right questions where the seller makes us the offer. Making sure that we're getting on the phone with the right kind of sellers, because we've all had the bad calls. Maybe that's why some of the fear is up of like, I don't want to talk to the wrong person. Well, what Jenn was mentioning with those messages, we're just weeding out like the motivated people. Like, I want to make sure if I'm going to call, those are I'm going to call. Those tire kickers, the unmotivated people, believe it or not,
give me your offer.
Some people who reach out and they're just grumpy. I'm like, you're trying to sell me your house and you're being mean to me? Like, stop. Right. So when you have so many incoming leads, once again, it's about how to filter these out, making sure that you get on the phone with the good ones, have the right questions lined up so your seller makes you the offer. Now you're analyzing deals. And I think some of the biggest fear that stops most investors, especially when we're just starting off, even if it's you've already done a deal or two, is like the fear of what happens if they say yes.
The fear of yes.
The fear of success. It's really weird. I know when I first got started, the first time they said yes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to buy this house now. Like, whoa, I didn't expect this to happen. And it did. And it was like scary. And walking through like all of the different little steps of like, did I do this right? How do I do this? Like the fear of success is a real thing that we don't talk about as enough. But like you ask people, you know, would you be open to terms? You're going to ask enough of those people. They're going to say yes. I could pay this price if you take all cash. You're going to have some people say no. That's right. Some people finally say yes. Right. So don't be afraid of fear. But part of what Jenn mentioned earlier is being around the right group that when that happens, who do I turn to? Like, okay, what do I do next? Right. Because it's exciting. It's thrilling. It's scary. There's money happening. And so I know for me was like, that's really big. It's fear of success, knowing what step to take if they say yes. How do I even get to the yes? And that's super important too. And making it super easy, like what you mentioned earlier, because I think as humans, we tend to overcomplicate too much stuff. Right. And I think why Jenn shines, and I don't even give her enough credit for it. She used to be a middle school teacher. So she would get all of this crazy. I'm like, we're on a date night and I'm like, terms, seller finance. I'm like berating her with it. This poor girl, stay married to me.
Well, if you have to break down like Shakespeare or some like, you know, Charles Dickens to a seventh grader, like I feel like that's kind of what it is at times. Cause that's how I felt. Like he was like you were mentioning at the beginning, like he's all up here with like these crazy words. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. But like once you hear it enough times, you see it in action. I think that's really where the magic happens, is when you're starting to make the calls, you're asking the questions, and it's like a big puzzle, and you're just putting each puzzle piece into there. And eventually you step away and you're like, oh, okay, I get this now. And some people it takes a little longer. For me, it took longer. For him, he got it right away. So it just depends on, you know, some of your background or your ability to just dive in and take the messy, massive action. He is definitely not so much a thinker brain. He's a just go, 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 go. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like,
but I'll give you some a little bit of what happened. This just happened, like a real case study of a deal that's happening right now. We had a seller reach out to us. They were talking with our team, and the seller was like, absolutely not. I am only talking to Jenn. If your name is Jenn, beat it. Like, I'm not talking like my virtual assistant. She didn't want to talk to Lexi, who everybody loves Lexi. Like, no, I'm only dealing with Jenn. And Jenn's usually not the one. She was the English teacher. This isn't where my specialty is. I'm not a numbers person, which she used to tell me. But I'm like, well, she only wants to talk to you. And she's done it before. Well, she talked with the seller, knows the whole history of what's going on with the deal. And I'm like, hon, like, I actually kind of want to like take a step back and let you do more of that. Because when you're talking with motivated sellers and you've gone through all the messaging and now you're actually on the phone with a motivated seller, and she's got her issue with her house, she wants to sell it.
Yeah. And I think because in the beginning when I was trying to like memorize a script and, you know, I got asked what an amortization would be, and I didn't know what that was. So I started crying after I hung up the phone. And Joe was like, it's just this. You did great. I can't believe you called, you know? And so, but it's like, you don't want to feel stupid. And I think that's what people, they get in their heads and they feel dumb. And I know I felt that way when I started working with you. And our CFO, Tony, he was talking, my head would spin and I'd feel stupid. And what I realized was if you just slow down and you take your time and you learn it and go as slow as you need to, and your guys are great. Tony's been amazing. And then you'll understand it. You can't expect to learn something in like minutes. And I think we live in this Amazon delivery culture where if like, oh my gosh, if it's not here, Amazon Prime, then you get so frustrated. But like, that's not how our brains always work. So give it time. And so back to this lady, yeah, she just wanted to know that I was a real person, how it was going to work. And we weren't even like negotiating. It wasn't anything crazy yet. Like we're in the first stages of even like, what does your house look like? Can I even help you? And you go back to just asking the questions and seeing how you can help people. Go back to the root of that. Like you're helping people. And the house is what you're going to help them with if you can. If you can't, no harm, no foul. But if we can just like remove all of the craziness that we allow, the noise in our heads, that's where I feel like a lot of people get stuck. So Go back to your why, be helpful, and just ask the right questions.
I like that a lot. It seems that, Pam, where what I'm hearing, the undertone is like, be willing to become a beginner again. Like, be willing to go back to the beginning and say, I don't know, and let me ask a bunch of questions, which it's funny. Anything in life, right? I don't know who made this popular, but I've heard it more recently. I feel like it's the universe telling me something, right? It's the J curve, where it's like you get good, but then you get worse. And then you come up and you're better than when you started out by getting good. It's almost like you don't know anything, so you're asking the right questions. Then you know a little bit too much, so you think you know everything, and then you're starting to like overcomplicate it. And then it comes back up because you're like, wait, I got to get this as simple as humanly possible. And then it goes a lot better for you. But a lot of people, like you said, it's the Amazon code. The Amazon culture throughout our whole society of like, once we hit that uptick, we don't want to hit that downtick at all because like we just want the constant hits. And I think there was, bare basics here. Go back to the beginning. So I really like that. We have to be willing to become the student again over and over in life to learn what we really need to. So then, okay, last time we talked, you did something cool with your money and the profit. And we don't have to go there to that specific story again. People can listen to that on the last episode that we did together. Have you done anything cool since then, or planning to do anything cool, or want to do anything cool with the profit money from the profit first, system? Or, I don't know. Like last time you had a pretty cool story.
Well, last time we spent all the profit money.
Oh, nice. No, now it's just building it back up so we could do it again when she comes back to town in 2030.
Well, it's pretty wild because like we homeschool our kids, and we love to travel. We love to do a lot of exciting things. And it was like one of those times where last year we didn't really travel. We didn't go anywhere. I mean, we did like little trips here or there. But
it was more like work stuff. Like, let's go to Arizona for real estate or whatever it might be. Like we were traveling for work, but we didn't do like a fun family thing. So
and then our daughter, who absolutely loves Taylor Swift, was coming into Miami. She was on a break, and I looked at Taylor Swift tickets, and they were like ridiculously high. I couldn't believe what they were. And
it was like $20,000 when we first looked. So we were like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. That's insane.
Yeah. I was like, there's no shot we're going to do that. And then what happened is,
not it. And then a couple hurricanes.
Our whole area got hit by 2 hurricanes. We had to evacuate our house. We had to go to Miami, Florida, where we deal with my birthday. Our house is like the line's coming over our house where the hurricane's coming. So we don't know if we're coming back to a house or not. We legitimately get back into Florida or our city.
Bit of a war zone. Yeah.
It's a war zone, backup generator. There's no internet, like nothing's working. And it was a little bit of a mess. And then our daughter, she's like always a sweepie. And she was so depressed. We couldn't figure out why. And I was like talking to my son. I'm like, is your sister okay? And then he mentioned that she never asks for like anything. Although now she does ask for a lot more stuff. Before then, she never really asked for much, but she really wanted to go to Taylor Swift, and she wasn't telling us. So the morning of the concert, legitimately, I just happened to roll over. I just looked at tickets, and they were like a tiny fraction of the price, which it was like still expensive.
Yeah.
Still really expensive, still thousands of dollars, but it wasn't $20,000. So I looked at Jen. We had no internet at our house. So even working from home, because we don't get good internet from our cell phones here, I looked at it. I was like, hey, do you want to go to Miami? It's a 4-hour drive. Let's surprise the kids. And we went. And Airbnb took off that day. It's a 4-hour drive. Legitimately had the time of our lives. I don't know.
And that amount was all sitting in the profit account. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it doesn't look like you had to pull out a savings. But now, to answer the future question, we're going on at least probably about a month-long trip starting in about, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, less than less than a month.
Yeah. So we
Where you
are
go?
going to,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, we homeschool, so we've been learning about the Civil War. So we're going to make a stop in, I think, Savannah, Georgia. And then my mom lives outside of Charleston. So hit up those areas. And then we're going to make our way to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, maybe another stop at West Virginia, trying to debate on that. We've got some friends in Pittsburgh. We're going to do a real estate meetup. So again, some work, some play. But that'll be really cool. And then visit some friends and family back upstate New York, Rochester, and hit up there. But I would say the big future profit first goal for us is going to be Europe. Like, we don't want to just go over to Italy for like a week.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go for like a month or so, maybe 2. I don't know
Yeah.
yet. So, yeah, to be able to work over there, but take some time off too. But, I mean, big goals would be first class.
There you go.
That's
Look a little.
pretty penny. So we got a lot of profit firsting to do.
About as much as that Taylor Swift concert.
Right? It's like, Taylor Swift for one night or like a Europe trip for like a month. So
No, that was just the airfare. No, I'm kidding.
The pasta. But yeah, it's the big dreaming and goals that, really do keep you going when you do have the deals that are frustrating or the times that are a little bit tough or like, oh my gosh, like running your own business is not for the faint of heart. But like, why are we doing this, right? And for us, it's the family, it's the kids.
that's awesome. So you're
It's able to do these things. Yeah, it's able to do these. Like if we could go live in Italy and go to England and all these places in Europe for 2 months, and take the kids while they're still young, and they'll never forget the experience. So it's not the stuff that you buy them, although like the experience of Taylor Swift, but this experience too, they don't forget the stuff. So do it while you still can because they're still young enough.
And that's cool that you're doing something like school related as well too, but on a trip and taking them to some of those locations like as they're learning about, because obviously you see it in person and doing that type of thing, it's a lot cooler. And then you're homeschooling too, like that. This is nuts. Like you got your own business, you're running, doing the deals, you got homeschooling. Like you guys sound like super paired, superhumans over there. And like, what would you say contributes to being able to do all of that?
A team.
Yeah.
Having the right people around you, taking a lot off of your plate, because it was just him and I up until 2020. And then we started realizing once we were in it for a few months full time, we were like, this is nuts. And our mentor was like, you guys need to hire some help. Like, why are you trying to do this day, 24 hours a day? And so we were like, oh, okay. And then with that comes so much growth. And our mutual friend, Gary Harper, was him and Susan were just incredible in helping us grow our team, especially virtually, and some of the systems they set up. We still use our wins on Friday. We were a win meeting.
Yeah.
So like you have to be willing to grow a team, to invest in yourself and your team, to learn from others who can grow teams really well and just be great leaders. And, at this point, like we even have a house manager. She was our latest hire who really came in to help. Like she took the kids to this really awesome meetup today because there are days where we have to work, right? Because we can go do all these fun things, but now we have someone that can take the kids, like part-time nanny, part-time house assistant, and she can make sure that the kids are going to homeschool meetups and meeting up with them and having fun, not missing out on that stuff too.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like you two are still a great team. And I say still, so if you want to just air it all out here, just kidding.
No, it is true having great help around you because like I always think we just said it like the other day, like what would Susan do?
Yeah, we always say that.
Like
Susan
Harper, because like when she came with her training, like they come to you.
So inspiring.
They were like, this was years ago too.
3 years ago, yeah.
And she would make it look effortlessly, like Starbucks shows up at the
She's
store.
like, what do you want for Starbucks? And I'm like, I said, whatever. And next thing Uber Eats shows up. And then she's like, here's my phone, pick your lunch. She orders us lunch. And I was just like, how is she doing this? But she like had her system and she just like, this is what they did. And so obviously it was years of working on herself and, growing her business up. But I mean, I remember that being like a wow moment for us. And now like we can be the people that be like, okay, here's the phone. What do you want to order? But it took us being around people like Gary and Susan to know that like it would just take a little time, and their encouragement and their positivity, it bleeds through. And I just feel like get around the right people and you will level up, and then you can give it back to others and bring them up. And it really is awesome.
Yeah, it is. And it's cool to see you guys working together so well as like, working with the spouse all day long and like doing all of that, plus the homeschooling, plus you got the team to manage. It seems like you guys have just handled it very well. And like, you got the right mindset. I'm sure you go through the ups and downs like everyone does.
You know what the key is, David? You block off a Friday and you go to the St. Regis Longboat Key. Take your wife there. Oh my gosh. It is gorgeous.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Saint Rita. This is the key, so I'm writing it down. So Saint Rita. Was this a Joe win recently where he took the guys to this place?
Yeah,
Okay.
Friday. Yeah, I was like, you know what? We've been working a lot. He's going coming up this week. He's gonna go visit Ron LeGrand up in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I knew we hadn't had a date night in a while, so sometimes date night turns into date day. So we just, scheduled the time, blocked off the calendar just like you would for all the important business phone calls and the attorney meetings and all the other stuff that comes along. But you got to put yourselves up there first too. And so, yeah, we had reservations, and it's just like, it's literally on the Gulf Coast, sunset, beach, the whole nine.
It is
stunning.
Definitely stay for dinner. Have the drinks outside.
Stay there if you can.
Yes, if you can. But it's close to where we live. So the fact that we could pop out on a Friday, because you do have those mental challenges in your business. So find out what it is. Is it a walk on the beach? Like I know Jen, if I don't bring her to the beach like once every week or two, like the grumpy scale could kind of get up there. I diffuse that by trying to get her to the beach as much as possible. It always helps. But
because I forget to go. Like you just get in it, right? And so you need your partner to be like, hey, like when's the last time you did this or you did that? So
I'm 2 weeks in a row right now, David.
Nice. There you go.
Resting it.
Stuff.
Resting it.
You are.
Maybe it's a walk in the park. Maybe it's spending time with your kids or walking your dog or whatever that is. Like find out what it is that brings you back, because you're going to need that quiet time or that space to do that. But then don't get gone for too long. Get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's really good. There's been lots of good stuff here where I like from the very beginning, we talked about the option selections, like making sure you're getting enough out there to like have it come in and be able to be picky, even if it's up front, which I definitely want you to give away the blue ads or whatever you've got there.
Let's do it
now in here. So yeah, let's do that right now while we're thinking about it.
I love it. So here's what we figured out. And I did this accidentally. And then I did it on Jen's account without her knowing. And then she got super mad because it worked so darn well.
Would have been nice for a warning. That's all.
Yeah. It worked so well. I couldn't believe it happened the way it did. So I was home and I'd always post in Facebook groups all of these like I buy houses, and I'd never get anybody to like it ever, like nothing ever. And I'd always like test different things. And then I came up with this one post. I tried it in a group. I'm like, man, that got a lot of people reaching out. I was like, so I took Jen's iPad without her knowing. This was like 5-6 years ago, and she's in the kitchen. And I remember just posting this blue ad in like 11 Facebook groups. I still remember it was 11. I posted in 11 Facebook groups. I kind of set it and forget it like I typically do. I didn't think anything was going to really happen. And then she was like, what did you do to my Facebook? And it was like hours later. So I totally forgot what was even going on. I'm like playing like Call of Duty or something. And we looked and we had like all of these people messaging about having houses for sale. And the light bulb moment went on. I was like, I'm spending thousands on lead gen to find off-market properties because the best deals are off-market. They're not on Zillow. And then when I found out how to get these people to reach out to us, I'm not even cold calling them, and it doesn't cost any money. I was like, holy cow. I felt like the caveman that discovered fire, and now I had to go tell everybody about it. So the deal is 2 of them. I'm going to tell you how to do it. The first deal is don't change it, because if you do, it's going to suck. It's just not going to work as well. I promise. I don't mean to be mean when I say that. I've tried all of these. You don't have to. Just stick to what works. The second one is if you break our record, you got to send me a message, okay? So here's how it works. I joined Facebook groups. If I want to target my market that I want to buy real estate in is Orlando, Florida. Here's the good thing. It works everywhere. If I run Google ads in Los Angeles, it's expensive, or New York City or Tampa or any of these big major markets, it's expensive per lead. You don't have to spend any money. Go on Facebook, type in that city in the search bar. When you do, it's going to give you all these choices. Select groups. There's going to be all of the groups with that city in there. So say it's Orlando or Tampa, don't matter. I'm joining every group. It's garage sale groups, yard sale groups, community groups. I'm in the Tampa moms group. Like I joined all of the different groups because maybe some Tampa mom found a Tampa dad and they have a house for sale, because that's what happened when Jen met me. She became an accidental landlord, right? Because she moved in with me. So the situations happen. I just joined all the groups is the point. I'm not picky. The ones I'm picky against are the ones that have like 8 people in them. I don't join those. But you got 10, 20,000, 100,000. I'm definitely getting in those. I don't care what the name of that group is. If it says Tampa and this, I'm in it. Then I start making some posts inside the group. I start being a little active, asking best place for a haircut or whatever inside the groups. So they see I'm not a bot. I give it a week or so, and then I make the famous blue post. It's super easy. I'm just making a post and I type, use this, just this, don't change it. Does anyone have a house for sale that's not market ready? I'm looking to buy one in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's it. Don't change that. Now, before you submit that into a group, you could change the background to a different color. You could change it to blue, pink, green. It don't matter. I like blue. It really pops. People stop on that one. I've noticed the most. Pink really works well. There's the poop emoji. Don't use that one. Doesn't work that well. I thought they'd see that for like bad houses. Poop doesn't work. Blue really works well. So I'm going to post that into 5 groups a day, 5 days a week. And if you do that for 30 days, you're going to have more incoming leads than you could handle. So, Joe, why am I giving away the secret sauce? Well, Facebook has like 10 million groups. I can't post into all of them. And if you post in more than like 10, 15, 20 a day, Facebook will see you're spamming and slow your account down.
And most people won't do this for 30 days.
Yeah, they just, but I mean, I'll tell you what, I've got people all over the country doing deals all over the country from without having to spend any money doing just this way. You're generating leads. Now, when those people reach out, I'm going to message them our 10 magic questions. And I'm not lazy, I'm smart. So I learned how to program my 10 questions in my phone as like a quick key. So I put like key 1 and it just pops out the question. So it takes me or anybody on my team like seconds. 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions, and it all comes out. Find out their motivation, get on the phone with the good ones, make deals, guys. It's just that simple. Beautiful houses, beautiful neighborhoods. I'm making seller finance offers on every one of those. On the fixer-uppers, I'm making cash offers where I could either wholesale it or do a fix and flip. We do all 3 of these things. I like wholesaling because you get a big check. Fix and flips in the right market, I would do them, although I don't like doing them because I don't like picking out stuff or being even involved. My favorite are these beautiful houses that I'm buying with seller financing because I'm still getting 2% rates, 3% rates. I'm still able to buy them without contractors because these are turnkey houses. So like that's the recipe, guys. Just get leads, make deals. If you could get real good at posting that into 5 of those groups a day for 5 days a week for 30 days, you're going to have hundreds of incoming leads. Now, here's the second deal.
I was going to say, we have to know how many to beat you.
So the record in one group was 1,100 comments. It wasn't from somebody in my coaching group. She got 1,100 comments in one group. Now, don't get me wrong. Not all 1,100 says I have a house.
Oh, sure.
She made a deal out of it. She had like 50, 60 leads. She's like, listen, I am too busy to even keep up with the other ones. Joe, I did a terrible job following up with 1,100 leads because let me tell you, if any one of you listening had 1,100 people messaging you within like 24 hours, you're going to be busy for the next few weeks.
Right?
Okay?
Yeah.
Some stuff will slip through the cracks. So just like, holy cow. And this stuff works, guys. And some of these groups, obviously, they're not going to let you post it. Some don't get posted at all. Bunch do, and a bunch work. And then, holy cow.
Just be mentally tough, like you're going to have the knuckleheads out there, saying silly things to you, but focus on the people that you can help.
Yeah.
And you can't help everybody, but who can you help? And talk to those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we get that? Like, just point us to the link or something, or how do they get more of you guys? Give me a call to action here.
Well, definitely creativefinanceplaybook.com. We've got it right there on that. We do free trainings every month. So if you go to the website, you'll see we'll be able to hang out with us. If you're on Instagram, Jenn Delle Fave and Joseph Delle Fave. And sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a deal or a seller finance deal, especially, and you think you need some help with it, like, let's just give me a call on my cell phone. It's probably the easiest. Don't call me in the middle of the night, because if you do, I will call you first thing in the morning.
You will,
too.
too.
Early. But call me or text me, 585-207-2240. That's my actual cell phone number. So when I call you, that'll be me talking to you. But if you have a seller who maybe has that turnkey house, and when I first got started, I only looked for deals, fixer-uppers that I was getting for half off. When somebody said, I've got a nice house where I'm not taking some lowball offer, I would never imagine making that deal. I just say, go list it with an agent. And I will tell you, in Florida right now, I'm running into so many people who have a house that's sitting on the market. It's not selling. They're frustrated. Some of these people are taking a loss. I have more people right now say, Joe, if I've already moved, my house is empty, beautiful house, beautiful neighborhood, and if you could just get this monthly payment off my back, like I'll let you buy it with seller financing. Like hand me the keys to close, they're ready to go. And this is happening more and more right now in Florida. Markets where it's hot, you could usually list and sell them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And we're still finding deals like that up there too. But more importantly, places like Florida, Texas, it's happening a lot in too. So if you're seeing some declines in your market or properties aren't selling, these people need some help. And not everybody can we help, but for the ones we can, it really works well for them.
Yeah, time to put a new tool in your tool belt as a real estate investor in these declining markets. If you're seeing that and the wholesale, like I said, the wholesale and the fix and flip hammer aren't working anymore, time to put this one in there so that way you can help them. Well, this has been awesome. I appreciate you guys just always giving just the first steps, like you said, making it simple. What should they do? How do they get out there? And especially if you're in a declining market, like look into Joe and Jenn and what their content is and like being able to go through that step. And you work with your students and you help them get on the phone. You're helping them with more than just the real estate side. I mean, you have me come in and speak about the money. So you care about like them as a business owner and a person and that total package. So I love this stuff. And you said it was Creative Finance Playbook.com.
You got it.
Cool. And he gave his phone number there. So just back that up. Listen to his phone number again. Don't call him in the middle of the night unless you want like a 2 a.m. call or whenever you get up.
I don't wake up that early, but I will be calling you back early.
There you go. There you go. So this is great. I appreciate you guys a lot. Remember, if you're out there and you struggle with the finances and you're like, where the heck do I start on that side? Because I'm making money, but I don't know where it's going. Go to simplecfo.com. We can help you just like we've helped Joe and Jenn, lots of other investors that are making money, but they need help just with the simple first steps. What do we do now? How do we get on the right track? So that's what we can help you with. And just like Joe said, like making dollars out of cents, like making the dollars and cents. I want to make sure that you know exactly where the dollars and cents are going in your business. Joe, Jenn, thank you again for coming on and sharing your wisdom and being such a great guest today.
Awesome. Thank you, David.
So much, David.
This episode of the Profit First for REI podcast is over, but there are plenty more where that came from. Are you ready to learn how David and his team can help implement the Profit First system in your business? Schedule a discovery call at simplecfo.com right now. We'll see you next time on the Profit First for REI podcast with David Richter.